Welcome back to Living in Arizona. Now, my friends, we're headed out to Lake Havasu City. We're going to go through small towns along the way like Wickenburg. So let's see what's going on the road trip out to Lake Havasu City today. This road trip takes about 4 hours and we're taking US 60, Arizona 71 through Wickenburg, as you can see right here. Total trip distance is around 200 miles, just depends on where you're coming from in the valley. Wickenburg was originally founded in 1863 during Arizona's gold rush. This is actually where they had the mine called Vulture City. And down in Phoenix, they were growing food to bring up to the miners up here because at the time, Vulture Mine was actually more famous than anything going on down in the Phoenix area. Interesting story, right? And as we keep progressing down US 60 here out towards the west, we're going through Aguila. As you can see, it's a farming land with a railroad kind of going right through it, but this whole area right here is really just rural Arizona. Not too much really going on in the west side of the state, as you'll see in between Phoenix and Lake Havasu City. At any given point in time, this could change because, as you know, there is talks about building smart city grids out here in the open desert out in Arizona. We'll see what ends up happening in the future. But once you go down there, you come across Wendon, and they have a 9/11 memorial here. One of the reasons we wanted to show you what the desert looks like out here is because I think a lot of you don't really see what the west side of the state of Arizona looks like. So you can see it goes from flat farmland where there's some aqueducts. Now this is part of the Central Arizona Project. This is where the water comes into the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, through the Central Arizona Project, which is attached to the Colorado River system. Those are canals you see there. About 40% of Phoenix's water supply comes from the Colorado, so those aqueducts are important. As we approach Parker, you'll see a lot of RVs and motorhomes out here, people coming out here for weekend getaways and their toy haulers, or they're just living out here to get out of that snow up in the north. By this time of year here in May, people are already going back north. Those are called snowbirds. But here we are in Parker, right along the Colorado River. This is just south of Lake Havasu. Cool place to go here. They got some casinos. It's a desert out here, some of the hottest terrain you'll find anywhere in the world. In the summertime, temperatures can range anywhere between 112 all the way up to 118, sometimes 120 degrees in Parker. But if you wanted a little bit of action, you could stop there at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. And I'm just going to be straightforward with you guys. Summertime out here is a really brutal climate, June, July, and August. Best time to come out here would be around March, April, early May, or September, October, November. I'd say it's more tolerable. But June, July, and August, my goodness, it's so hot out here. But either way, if you're on the water, you're going to get in there. That's a good reason to get in that beautiful Colorado River, isn't it? You also have to keep in mind the Colorado River is heavily dammed up. I mean, it starts at the Glen Canyon Dam at Lake Powell. Then there's another one at Lake Mead where they have the Hoover Dam. Just outside of Las Vegas, they have another lake. And then down here, they have the Parker Dam at Lake Havasu City. I mean, you've got so many dams holding up that water. It's just amazing that by the time you get down to Parker, there's anything left. Parker is known as a bit of a water wonderland. They've got the Pirate's Den, as you can see here. You can get out on that river with a speedboat or a boat of any type, actually. Some people take pontoon boats even up there. Jet skis are popular. And people just come out here for a fun time on the water, enjoy some cervezas out there. Responsibly, of course, because you always have a DD or someone who's able to take over the reins, right? But just across that river there is California. So this Colorado River shares a border with Arizona and California. Also in the north, if you went all the way up towards Laughlin or Bullhead City, we've done a video up there, by the way, but that's Laughlin's, Nevada. But the cool thing about these Parker resorts and dock bars, like they have here at the Roadrunner Resort, you can just chill here. I mean, this is a place you bring the RV for the weekend and you just experience a different vibe than you'd get around the valley, right? So coming out here for a couple days in spring or in the autumn time, great idea. As you can see, good vibes. Kind of reminds me of Florida in the desert a little bit. It's like, where's the oysters? The area you're really looking at here is called Parker Strip. It's one of the most famous river party destinations in the American Southwest. I would almost call it like Destin, Florida, really, especially during spring break time. But it stretches along the Colorado River from Parker up to Lake Havasu. You'll find floating dock bars, the boating culture with the jet skis, people out there wakeboarding, sandbars and party coves. Just a good time to kick back and relax on the weekend. But like I said, man, that extreme summer heat can take away from a lot of the fun. Luckily, they do have those mister systems at pretty much every bar. Now, when I came out here, I brought the truck. But if you wanted to come out here in an RV that you owned, that's a good idea. Or you can rent one. They even have them for rent out here in Parker and Havasu. Usually during peak season, though, they sell out quickly, so you'd want to arrange that ahead of time. But that's really what you want to do. Or if you don't want to do the RV thing and you want to have your own vehicle, like a truck or a car, get a vacation rental. I've noticed they've been building lots of different Airbnbs and kind of condominium type structures, even out here in Parker. Sleepy little Parker with like 8,000 to 10,000 people is starting to build up some of those vacation rental stuff. The old Fox Dive Bar, that's a famous one. I mean, there's so many different floating bars along Parker. You can almost bar hop, at least when you first come out here, to familiarize yourself with what vibes you like the best. I mean, you're going to obviously want to get in the water. You don't come all the way out here just to go to floating dock bars, right? You come out here to find out what floating dock bar you want to base camp out of and ride the wakeboards, ride the jet skis, get in the boats. That's what the fun time is all about out here. It's a culture. We were here early morning in a weekday, so you could see it's not as crowded as it would be on, say, spring break or in the peak season time. So just depends on if you want crowds or not. But if you don't want the crowds, come out here early morning on a weekday in May. You can see it's quite laid back. And we got another one here along the Parker Strip. This is the Sundance Saloon. Come out here for some food. Look, that's what it's all about here, okay? You just go around to these places. They've even got some up in the mountains that are just really cool places. You won't find any culture like this or any place like this really in the rest of the country. I mean, some people go out to Burning Man, but that's a totally different vibe, even though it's out in the desert. Where else are you going to find lake river kind of culture than Lake Havasu? I mean, this place is really unique to anywhere else in the country. And last time we came out to Lake Havasu and Parker Strip, some of you guys were asking in the comments, hey, how much is a home out here? Can I move out there? Well, yeah, you can always contact a real estate agent. I don't personally know any out here in Lake Havasu City, but I could see this place growing in popularity. Californians are moving here. People are leaving Phoenix to live out here. But, you know, once they get that brutal summer heat when it's 118 degrees 3 days in a row, they kind of question what it is they decided to do when they moved out here. Hopefully you got a good AC in both your house and your car. Or in this case, if you're just bringing a mobile home or an RV out here, you'd want to have a good AC working in that unit with potable water. Of course, this is Buckskin right along the river, so we're in between Parker and Lake Havasu City at this point. So obviously around here, if you're just looking to kick back and chill, spend some time on the water without being around the ruckus of being around the dock bars of Parker Strip, that's why you come up here to Buckskin. They've got a few other state parks, like I said, that Parker Dam State Park. Then you have the River Island State Park, which is another laid-back place. So you could see the desert out here is kind of like a Mars/moonscape. I mean, that's really what you got out here. Not too much shrubs or trees out here. And the ones you do see, those are ones that were planted by humans, not growing naturally up in the hills or anything. Usually just sagebush is what you'll see out there in the desert. But thankfully, humans have planted some trees out here to add some vegetation. I always like to see some palm trees along the Colorado here. But we're actually now headed up towards Lake Havasu City. That's the main event. That's what you guys came here for. It all begins here at Parker Dam. This is the dam that creates the Lake Havasu, one of the most popular boating and recreation lakes in the Southwest. And it's considered the deepest dam in the world by foundation depth. So it's 320 feet tall. And you can see right here is Parker Dam, built in 1938 by the Bureau of Reclamation. Now around Parker Dam, you're gonna have a few different areas to explore or camp, hike, do what you wanna do, bring out the RV. That's Havasu Springs Resort. And you can see they've got boat docks, they've got, you know, some sort of shelters that you can stay at. You've also got Cattail Cove State Park around here. Again, plenty of places to park the RV, set up shop, just chill along the waterfront. And you know, you've got places to put your life jackets and get your boats in the water. I mean, just depends on what kind of activities you want to do out here. And then once you're going up north of here, you're in Sarah Park, another area where they've got some motocross parks and other outdoor activities that you can do while you come out here. Because again, this is the desert. What do people do out in the desert? They do off-roading, getting on the water, getting out on the lake. And I just want to let you guys know, as we continue to go around Arizona, if you want to see more of our videos, go onto our homepage and you'll see we've got playlists from everything about small towns. We've got Arizona road trips. If you click on the Arizona road trips playlist, you'll see we've got so many videos in there that you can go through. I can recommend some like the Mogollon Rim, Chiricahuas, that's a great one. You can watch all these on a weekend and really explore Arizona. Might take you a couple weekends actually. But the good news is we're here in Lake Havasu City. We're coming up on the London Bridge. This actually is the real London Bridge that was packed up, put on a ship, and sent over here to Lake Havasu City. Can you believe it? And just some facts here. It was set up in 1963 by industrialist Robert McCullough. He's the creator of the McCullough chainsaws. Its most famous attraction is that London Bridge, which was brought over from London, England. It was purchased by Lake Havasu City from London in 1968 for $2.4 million, reconstructed stone by stone here in Arizona. Many people mistakenly think that the city bought Tower Bridge, but it was actually the London Bridge, because those are two different bridges out there in London. But it is Lake Havasu City, a reservoir created by Parker Dam, famous for jet skiing, wakeboarding, spring break parties, waterfront restaurants. Some people say this is Arizona's beach. It also gets 300 plus days of sunshine per year, with summer temperatures in excess of 110 degrees for about 2 months out of the year. That's 43 degrees Celsius for those of you watching from out of the country. And because it's the closest thing that the state of Arizona has to being a beach, you could stay here at the First Cabin Club. You've also got other beach clubs around here, but this is a nice area, relaxing. It feels like you're at a beach, although you're on a lake. And I will say this, if you guys actually wanted to see the closest beach to Arizona, we could consider a road trip down to Rocky Point, Puerto Penasco in Mexico. But for now, we'll stick with the Turtle Beach Bar and the surrounding area. But you can see they've got those misters going even here in May, just because it's so hot. They do have a little bit of sand here. You can dock your boat right there on the sand, pull up, get a drink, get a meal, or maybe you could stay at one of these places. But you can see off in the distance, Lake Havasu City is growing. Right now the population is around 60,000 residents. A lot of those are retirees, remote workers, and people relocating here from California and other western states. It's considered the largest city in Mojave County, and it is picking up in population, but mostly people around their mid-50s prefer to live here because it's a retirement-oriented community. And you can see right here, we're at the Nautical Club. This is another one of those beach clubs along the lakefront. And really the best time to visit out here is March to May. That's considered the best overall season. It's warm weather without extreme summer heat. So even if it's a bit chilly in Phoenix, you're coming out here, you're going to get some mild, a little bit warmer temperatures. But like I said, the summer's just too hot. Perfect for boating, hiking, kayaking, nightlife. Definitely got that spring break vibe. But summer, June through August, 110 to 120, the lake becomes just too hot to be around. The only way to tolerate it is to actually get in the water. But people do a huge boating culture out here, floating parties, water events. It's great for sunrise and sunset filming as well because of the dramatic desert light. From fall, which is basically September to November, water stays warm from the summer heat. There's fewer crowds, excellent for more of a relaxed kind of environment. Winter, which is December to February, popular with snowbirds escaping cold winter climates. Mild sunny weather, it's really good for hiking actually during that time of year. They do have the Lake Havasu Balloon Festival, one of the most colorful events that takes place out here from January 22nd to the 25th. It's got the sunrise balloon launches, the evening balloon glow, to other balloon rides, carnival rides, food vendors. and a whole bunch more. For me, I like to go down there where the London Bridge is, walk under the bridge and see all the boat traffic heading out to the open lake. You can't really rip it through here, but those jet boats, they'll be, coasting right under that bridge headed out. And you'll see them out there on that open water. Actually, under the bridge there, you can see that bat colony that lives there. So along with boating culture, there's other things to do here. What we really want to do is show you up in the town. They have a place called the English Village. So in order to do that, we've got to get back in the car, go back over the bridge from the island. We're going to go to English Village. Now, you probably guessed by now why it's called the English Village, because of the London Bridge. So they created this village that's called English Village. Even though we're in the desert, doesn't really make sense, I know. But here it has restaurants. It's got a couple hotels and lodging that you can have. Here you have some old English style architecture, including cobblestone style walkways, Tudor inspired buildings, British themed shops, and waterfront patios. Also, you'll see that there's many shops here, restaurants, ice cream shops, souvenir stores, bars, boat docks, walking past. During the busy weekends, boats line the channel here. And the village hosts events throughout the year, including car shows, holiday celebrations, boat events, balloon festival activities. I would say this has got to be like the city center of Lake Havasu City when things are going on. Just some more facts about Lake Havasu. So the name Havasu actually comes from the Native Americans, meaning blue water. If you go into the Grand Canyon, there's a very famous waterfall in there and a creek called Havasu Creek, but Havasu Falls also. So that's just blue water. I mean, that water is really blue. But down here in the area around English Village and Lake Havasu, I would say, because it is such a new city, I mean, it's maybe 50 years of really just coming out of the desert as it is now. In the next 50 years, I project Lake Havasu City to be one of the fastest growing cities in all of Arizona. About 8.5 to 9 months out of the year, it's a very pleasant place to be. And I think because it's on the lake, and there's not many places in the country where you have a beautiful lake and a town nearby, kind of like an ocean, but it's just actually a lake. I mean, where else can you find this in the state of Arizona? I mean, you have Lake Pleasant, which allows you to go out and park your RV. You have Saguaro Lake, but none of them actually have a city on the lake. Now, of course, because it is a reservoir and a lot of drinking water comes from here, especially going from the Central Arizona Project into Phoenix, I don't know how much development they can have because of that, although I'm assuming it's probably not a big deal. But that's the cool thing about this lake. I mean, the whole city just goes up the hills into the foothills, and it overlooks the beautiful lake, and it's got that nice boating culture that attracts people. And I mean, I don't really see why this place wouldn't blow up in population, at least to 100,000 between now and the next 20 years. Recently, we have done a video about the best lakes in Arizona. It's probably 2 years old. Not much has changed because, I mean, when you make a listicle like that, the lists are pretty much the same. There's not much new dams or reservoirs being built, although in the 1900s, there was a lot. I mean, each lake in the state was basically built by a dam or a reservoir, which eventually led to the Salt River Project or the Central River Project. Lake Havasu is just one of those lakes that was dammed up along the Colorado in this case, but really a cool place. Get those rentals, get those RVs ready if you got one, or just get a rental. I mean, I would say if you're someone who's interested in doing RVing, mobile homes, motorhomes, if you want to call it that, rent at first. If you really like it and you find yourself spending more money on it, then it's worth it to go out and get a real one. But I would say start out as a renter, do it a few times, see if the lifestyle is for you, and then end up considering if you actually want to go out and make the big purchase. Because sometimes people buy these things and they end up storing them away in the big storage unit, paying a couple $100 a month just to store it, and they use it one time a year. It's like, at that rate, you would have been just better off renting and, having someone else do the storage. The same could be said about getting a boat. But either way, here's a look at the Days Inn, the hotel, and some of the night vibes around the London Bridge here. So you can see it takes on a bit of a different ambiance at night. Like I said, sunset, sunrise, really nice around the lake, but nighttime also has nice light show and just a real good vibe, right? Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. We love to hear from you in the comments. Let us know what kind of videos you want to see from us moving forward. We've got some coming down the pipes, like I said, the 15 most beautiful places in Arizona, but we love to hear from you in the comments. Let us know. See you on the next one from Best Weekend Getaways in Arizona right here. Click the link right there.